Welcome to the Test Down podcast. Thank y'all for joining me today. Today we're going to switch up our content just a little bit, okay? Just a little bit. So we got a couple things that we're going to talk about. We're going to try to get them out in a concise fashion. Don't know how much time I have to be on today, but I'm going to try to run through everything with the appropriate amount of time. Excuse me. So why don't we get started right away? The title of today is Why Are There No Female Trees? Why are there no female trees? It is what they call an issue for those of us who have to take allergy medication, have asthma, that type of thing. It's an issue. And you have to wonder why, right? So we're going to find out today. We're going to talk about it.
Monsanto came after me for patent infringement. They're attempted, I guess, assumption. They approached me, two of their investigators approached me at my home approximately 7:30 at night. They presented themselves as being taking a magazine survey. They wanted to know if I planted corn, soybeans, wheat, what kind of acres. And when they found out I was growing some food grade, then they wanted to know whom I had the contracts with, and they wanted to know phone numbers and addresses. And I finally just said, I'm not giving that information. I didn't know for sure they were then. And so I turned around and walked back into my house. And at that point, I heard one of them say, he's guilty. And I kept going right in the house, and I thought, what am I guilty of? I'm David Runyon. I'm a farmer here in the state of Indiana, and I raise corn, wheat, soybeans. I'm also raising some cover crops and planting them. I've been here, I'm 57 now, and I've been driving a tractor since I was 5 years old. Farming's in my blood. I suppose I'll probably die here like my father did, which isn't so bad after all. It's a world and an occupation that I love. So time goes on, and there's approximately 7 days there within Thanksgiving, which is the end of November, that I had 7 or 8 days to present to Monsanto my business records. They want all my business records in 7 days. I had no affiliation with Monsanto. I had not ever signed their contract, their seed growers contract. I was not using their products, had not acquired their GMOs through a third party, but they were coming after me.
So this isn't just about one farmer. This isn't just about, one area even. This is a company coming after farmers for growing food that they didn't genetically modify. We got to get a little bit deeper into it. So I'm gonna let it play.
Because someone gave them my name that stated that he or she knew that I was replanting Monsanto products. And if that was true, all they had to do was bring that witness forward. I do not use their products. I'm not going to ever use their products. I'm not sure that GMOs are the way to go. I don't believe what's being presented to me as far as the paperwork with these so-called scientific, laboratory, perfect plant. I don't believe it exists being manufactured or manipulated by man to that extent. When you crossbreed is a different story than when you start taking cell structure and altering. What are we headed for? And when I looked at that at first, I was getting excellent yields with my non-GMOs. Why change?
Why change?
Why do we want to change something that's working great?
In the fall of 1999, we were approached by a private investigator who claimed to be looking into allegations that we were violating Monsanto's patents by saving their patented seed, which we in fact were not.
So I'm gonna stop it there for now, and I want to talk about this for a second. So this company Monsanto, if you guys aren't familiar with it, Monsanto is a company that not only genetically engineers and modifies and alters the products that we eat based off the farms in America. They're also the company that supplied all of the Agent Orange to the military to drop on Vietnam and destroy their rainforest. See, the pesticide is what it was. The pesticide that they have created not only stops the fruit and the other parts of the trees from growing, it only doesn't kill grasses, but it'll kill everything else. And then you let it get on you, it's going to be even worse. I mean, you guys can look up the effects of Agent Orange if you want to, but a lot of weird diseases and a bunch of weird cancers have come from this type of thing. You know, I'm not going to dive too far into it. Really listen to this farmer story today, and then we're going to move on from there.
I'm Troy Roush. I'm a fifth generation farmer in central Indiana. I farm with my two brothers and father, and now my nephew and
Shout out to the classic
daughter
codes.
helps out a little bit too.
Shout out to the classic codes.
We grow corn and soybeans, popcorn, processing tomatoes, and I also have a certified organic division where I also grow corn and soybeans. They stirred up a lot of rumors in the community, which is the job of these private investigators, kind of get people talking, scare them a little bit, and went away. We didn't hear any more about it, and kind of assumed it was all behind us, really. And then about planning time, when we're extremely busy, we get a call from an attorney down in New Orleans, happened to be one of Monsanto's henchmen, and he was demanding all kinds of documents. And
yeah, so this is for entertainment purposes, reviewing somebody's video that they've already posted. You know, we don't have any legal affiliation with any of them. We're not defaming nobody. You know, we're not even going to give our opinion on this, but this is their story. We're going to let them tell it.
This and that. So we more or less told them to pack it in their ass. And a few days later, Monsanto sued myself, my two brothers, my father, falsely accusing us of infringing their patents on Roundup Ready seed. We, in fact, had not infringed their patents. From there, a 2-year legal battle ensued. It's one of the dirtiest things I've ever experienced in my life. Not one of, the most dirty thing I've ever experienced in my life. We spent, over the course of the next 2 years, $400,000 defending ourselves against these baseless claims.
A lot of money.
In the end, the matter was settled out of court. Neither myself nor any of my family nor Monsanto admitted any liability.
So nobody was at fault, y'all. Remember that. No.
So Monsanto is now, I hate to say developed because they didn't develop this trait. They actually bought it from the University of Nebraska. A trait called dicamba resistance that they've inserted into soybeans. And what this trait will do is allow soybeans to resist the application of a herbicide called dicamba. The problem with this is dicamba is a very...
So, I mean, we've seen all we needed to see from that to understand what's going on here. I don't have to spend any more time on that at all. All I got to say to you guys is if you don't know about growing food, check it out. Um, if you look up your laws in your area, I'm not sure about every single state, but I do know that in the majority of the ones that I've looked up, you cannot have female trees. I'm going to play a little bit about that in a minute, but I'm telling you, learn about your food, learn about what's going on your dinner plate, what you're buying, what you're eating, learn about it and how it affects your health, because there could be some issues with the modification that could have caused that.
Durham, North Carolina, 2019. A blanket of pollen covered the city. It looked like something out of a horror movie, said photographer Jeremy Gilchrist. Residents were sneezing and coughing, and it got so bad, some had to be put on antibiotics. Your car was suddenly yellow, the sidewalk was yellow, the roof of your house was yellow, said Kevin Lilly, assistant director of the city's landscape services. The area had around 1,800 grains of pollen per cubic meter of air. How could this even happen? After all, nature has been functioning perfectly for all this time, and we never hear about historical allergies. In fact, we didn't hear about bad allergies before the 19th.
Let me tell you why that's significant. All of the pollen that you see has to have somewhere to go. It has to have somewhere to go. If the pollen doesn't have anywhere to go, where do you think it's going to go? What do you think it's going to do? You know, if you don't have female receptacles, they're called not. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I can't go too deep into that, but it does need to go somewhere. You can't just have all this pollen being made and not being absorbed by anything. The bees can't do it by themselves.
'70s. Why is that? The pollen apocalypse has been building for decades. To really learn how this happened, we have to go back to the Netherlands, 1910. Something was killing the elm trees. Crazy patterns were showing up on trunks of trees, and whole trees would wilt and die in as little hours and give off pollen. Trees that have separate genders are called dioecious, like cedar, yew, and ash. Trees that are hermaphrodites are called monoecious, like elm, birch, oak, and pine. Trees that have both male and female parts in the same flower are called perfect, like apple and hazelnut trees. Because elm trees are hermaphrodites or monoecious, they release pollen, but they also catch it. It was part of the reason they were planted so widely in the 1900s. They didn't drop a lot of litter, and they didn't release a lot of pollen. But the lack of diversity was a recipe for disaster when Dutch elm disease hit. It decimated the American elm population, and by 1989, an estimated 75% of North America's 77 million elm trees were dead. That's around 58 million trees. Many American streets were bare. There certainly wasn't any pollen. So how did we get to the pollen apocalypse today? You can blame it on one short sentence in the 1949 USDA book called Yearbook of Agriculture. When used for street plantings, only male trees should be selected to avoid nuisance from the seed. So that's what city planners and landscapers did. They planted male trees all over the US. The USDA figured that pollen would be blown away by wind or washed away by rain, making pollen an easier civic duty to manage than seed pods or overripe fruit that would actually have to be cleaned up by people. But city planners and landscapers didn't stop there.
That is a good point. If you go overseas and you go walking down the street, you're going to find fruit hanging off the trees in the street for the most part. You don't have that here, and they're telling you why.
Landscapers also used cloned male trees all over the US, and cloned male plants dominated nurseries. It was easier to clone plants than wait for male and female plants to pollinate, so male clones became the norm. After the USDA 1949 guidelines were released, the USDA produced and released into the market almost 100 new red maple and hybrid maple clones,
nice.
And every single one of them was male. You might be thinking, Allie, there's no way they were actually cloning plants in the 1950s. But cloning in terms of plants actually means something different. It's a way of propagating plants, where you take a cutting of the original plant and it grows into its own plant. It also allows for some non-natural selection. The wholesale growers learned how to select male scion wood from trees that were monoecious, and we started to see trees never before seen in nature, such as seedless cypress and podless honey locust trees. These new hyper-male plants didn't drop any seeds or fruit, and for a while, people thought they had beat nature. But nature had other plans. After the post-Dutch elm disease replanting, it took a number of years for the new, young trees to mature enough to start blooming. Eventually, they did bloom, and with them came the epidemic of allergy and asthma. Many of those original trees are still alive and well, and getting even bigger. And the bigger they get, the more pollen they shed.
See, there's a reason why. This is the main reason why asthma and so many people suffer from these diseases that you rarely ever heard about beforehand. Now you have 1 in 3, I want to say that it says now have asthma. Like, that's crazy. It's crazy to think that all the allergies, I wouldn't say all of them, but the majority of the allergies and the asthma and the other issues that come from respiratory and issues are because they wanted the streets to be a little bit cleaner. They wanted the streets to be a little bit cleaner. People are sick, and there's industries that are making billions of dollars every year off medications so we can have worse health but cleaner streets, even though pollen will cover the streets anyway. Allegedly.
Male trees and plants all over the nation began shedding tons and tons of pollen. There were no female trees to catch the pollen, so it swept over towns and cities in yellow clouds. Scientists had discovered in 1873 that pollen grains were a causative agent behind allergies. But they didn't discover until 1967 that the cause of seasonal allergies was pollen aggravating our own antibodies. Antibodies released by your immune system attached to the allergens and then
What's not just for content purposes is me going on a limb and telling you whenever I go anywhere else, I no longer, after about 2 days, I no longer have any more problems when it comes to my breathing. Zero. None. I did not need medication in other countries just by walking down the street. No allergy issues, none of that. No. Yeah, there are some residual things that my body has become used to that I wouldn't be able to eat in another place. But that's because I'm used to what's ever going on here in this country. But as far as like everything, no, like the food is fresh in other places. Most of the time they caught it that day. They caught it that day. They slaughtered it that day. They broke it down that day, whatever. The juice definitely don't look like the juice here. The soda doesn't even look like the soda. Nothing like it's. Go study abroad is what I got to say about it. You know what I mean? I can end this portion right here because that's infuriating. Y'all know why it happened. We're not here to examine everything about it. We just know why now. They told us there are no female trees because they wanted cleaner streets. Also, easier for everything. Angel Reese. This man loves him some Angel Reese. This man loves him some Angel Reese. I swear. Shout out to Grape Ape coming in to talk about Angel Reese again. I don't think we're talking about her today, Grape Ape. We're gonna talk about something else. We're gonna talk about something. We got sports to hit right now, y'all. Let's do it. First up, Cowboys Eagles, y'all. Cowboys Eagles. We'll show you how the end. We'll show you how the end so we don't get
for the pattern. There's the flush, man chasing. It is caught after the catch. Jackson is stopped.
We may have to see Dak run the football a little bit here, too, before it's done.
Handcuffed by the snap. Hit as he throws. Almost intercepted. 4-man pressure.
All right.
Up. Prescott's throw.
Yeah, that missed the end.
By George Pickens. The clock was stopped.
Right.
2:47. Prescott looking middle. Covered coming downfield for a worm. CD couldn't hang on.
Oh, he dropped it.
Ricocheted to Blankenship's head.
That was the first one.
In time, in traffic, that throw is incomplete.
Complete.
3rd and
One
10.
more again.
Prescott, nothing open, comes back underneath. Williams, the nice catch. Decision time.
They're bringing pressure, at least showing it.
And they are bringing it. And Prescott's lofting it. CD couldn't bring that one in.
Yeah, so we can end them there. Y'all saw what happened with that one. We're going to talk about it a little bit. We're going to talk about it. Look, I thought that the Cowboys showed up last night in a way that I wasn't expecting them to show up. I really did. I really did. He right. He right. He right. He right. They're gonna miss Parsons. I don't think they will, man. I think if you go and watch what we talked about the other day, America's team, a gambler his Cowboys, you'll see that the owner of the Cowboys has done this on multiple occasions. I don't think they're going to miss Parsons. I think he had something up his sleeve, or at least had some advisors that he did listen to have something up their sleeves to get that taken care of. I really do. And this game kind of showed you a lot. It showed you that the Cowboys they took the Eagles down to the wire, and to be honest, a couple of things didn't really go their way. Like if y'all weren't watching, the game got stopped. I think it was for about an hour maybe. The game got stopped so they could let a storm system pass over. A thunderstorm. You don't want to be sitting on metal bleachers in the tallest thing around when there's a thunderstorm going on. So obviously, it's not even just for the players on the field; it's for the people in the stands too. They had to stop the game. I didn't think that the Eagles would handle them like that because, like I said, Dak Prescott needs to prove himself this year. There's a couple other players that got some really, really nice contracts that need to prove themselves, and they also know that they need to make a run at this division, especially after the division rivals, which I think is the Eagles. Other people might think they're the Redskins, won the Super Bowl. So this game came out. I think that Prescott looked great. I'm no hate there. I think that Prescott looked great. And 64 minutes. Thanks, Sovereign. 64 minutes. Classic Code said we still better than the Eagles. He loved him some Cowboys. But I think that they played a better game than the Eagles did. I do. I think that had CD not dropped a bunch of passes towards the end, which he probably was having a little bit of fatigue, y'all. Like, I don't know if y'all know what having an additional break on top of having a halftime feels like. It's hard to get those muscles going, especially with how on fire he was in the first half. I'm not making any excuses for it. At the end of the day, everybody's a professional. At the end of the day, that's just what happens. I think the Cowboys are a game you should watch out for them in a division. I think we're going to hear from Jerry Jones. It's an interview, so we ain't got to worry about nothing like that. We can hear from Jerry Jones. And what else happened? We'll listen to what else happened in the game first. There was an incident in the first half with the player and Dak Prescott all spitting on each other. We'll hear from him exactly why he did this.
Goes Jalen Carter after being suspended early on in the game. It's new on SportsCenter.
When it happened, did you realize that you were going to get tossed from the game?
I heard the ref talking, and then I heard him say, "This is a tossable offense," or something like that. Yeah, that's when I knew.
Did you have a conversation with Nick, and if so, what kind of message did he relay?
I didn't have a conversation yet. I know we're going to have that conversation. They have to focus on the game still. I don't want to distract them from the game. I came in, I talked to the D-line, told them what I was seeing while I was watching the game inside.
Man, bro can't decide if he want dreads, if he want wicks, if he want a fade. Waves, I don't really know what's going on here, but y'all check that out. Shout out to his barber, whoever it is. You had a lot. You went through a lot, but you did it. You got it done.
What was it like watching the rest of the game?
It was intense for me. I wanted to be out there with the.
I'm still stuck on it. When y'all come to the barbershop, just say, "Give me all at once," okay, or the S gun or whatever. Give me all at once. That's what we do. I'm so glad I don't have a shop anymore. I couldn't do this. No. I couldn't do it. I wouldn't do it.
God so bad, and just the support and help, even just standing on the sideline. But things went how it went. We just got to move on. I've made a promise to the boys; it won't happen again.
It better not happen again.
Are you worried you might be suspended?
I get that text or that call.
I done heard enough from him. He gonna get suspended, and there's no doubt about it. He's gonna get suspended because he's a dummy. Who does that? When Hurts scored those 2 touchdowns, I thought they were gonna miss Parsons. I mean, they had guys that stepped up, man. They really did. They had guys that stepped up last night. If you look at some of the other edge rushing, it was actually really good. What do you think about the reactions of people regarding the plan before the game? They can feel however they want to feel about it. They can feel however they want to feel about it. It's there. It happened. It's going to happen again too. Watch. Doesn't matter whether you support it or don't support it. There's some guys. I'm gonna tell you, in life, sometimes it's okay to be like, whatever it is, I can't affect it. It's okay to understand what you can and cannot affect. That way you don't waste your energy worrying about things that you can't affect. You know what I mean? Do I support it? I don't have to. It's going to happen this is the part. Whether you expend energy or not, what's happening is happening. I didn't even know about it because I had the sound off at the beginning of the game. I had no sound on. I had no idea. So do I support it? I mean, it doesn't matter if I do or don't. So I never really gave it any thought. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's cool they honor people that way, especially people who give their life for the same company. I mean, same country. All things being said, alleged for content creation purposes and edutainment of others. It's divisive. Everything in the country is. Sports is divisive. Sometimes we got to grow a little bit of hair on our peaches, so to say. You know what I mean? Sometimes we got to grow a little bit of hair on our peaches, man. Like I'm not gonna be shy about that. You can't be offended about everything. You can't be upset about everything, and everything should not bother you to the degree where it keeps you up at night. I totally understand wanting to be, worried about this and that, but if it doesn't make a difference in life, then why care about it? If you can't affect it, why spend all of your energy on it? Like, you can't just, be upset about everything. We have to pick and choose which ones to be upset about. And that's not one of the ones I could be upset about. Like, oh, okay, it happened. It happened. I mean, it's not. Do we still have organizations that need funding because they take care of children who can't provide food for themselves? Yes, that's something for me to actually worry about. But I'm not gonna be upset because somebody played some music before some dudes ran around on the field and bumped into each other. I'm not, especially because I'd be one of the dudes running around bumping into each other. Maybe I gave out too many shots. I don't know. You can't go around not caring about things. I get picking and choosing, but take a stand. No, I take a stand on things I need to take a stand about. If I can't affect it and I can't do anything about it, it's a waste of my energy. I only got so much energy. I only got so much. You know what I mean? Like it's not really about that for me. There are things that are very important that I will definitely take stands on, but I'm not gonna take a stance on somebody doing what they want to do in their own house. Do what you want to do in your house. What am I gonna do in my house? Also, whatever I feel like doing in my house.
For the Eagles, but no question that his absence loomed very large.
Where's my Jerry Jones interview?
Play from, let's say, the younger ones or the second-year guys and what have you. We got a chance to be good.
Thoughts on what Schottenheimer did with this offense in game one?
I'm so impressed with him. I just makes me sick that he didn't win this game. And I know what it meant to him. We're all riding with him. We all feel it. He had him ready to play. And he had them ready to play. He was right. He saved up a few things, but he did have them really ready to play. If this team will continue because of, in my mind, the skill level and the age level, we'll continue to improve. We got better in the second half on defense. We did that. And we just left some plays out there that if we made them, I thought Dyke may have played one of the best games I've ever seen him play. And so we had the hands and we had the ball in the hands of our key guys. I just can't say enough about this effort. And I give Brian and I give his staff all the credit in the world and the leadership and the guys that.
You heard it. You heard it from the owner right there. You guys heard it from him right there. I hope you heard it. But Jerry's got the right idea about this. I mean, if I have a team and I saw what I saw out of them last night, first game of the season, and we're going against the defending champs that way, and we look that good, I can't be too upset about that either. He's like, well, they performed probably, and he's very critical. He's one of the more visible owners that talks about his team. He's very critical of the team and what they accomplish. I mean, for the first game of the season, I don't say that was bad at all. If they can keep that up and improve a couple of those errors, we might be looking at them taking that division. I'm not saying the Eagles can't do it. Obviously, they proved it with a win last night. They still got it. But unless Washington shows me something I haven't seen yet, I watch this division real close, y'all. I watch this division really close. Normally, Jerry's a lot more upset with his team at a loss, but he liked that one. So this next part that we're going to get ourselves into is a little bit of the preseason not preseason, but before the season predictions and Bears hype. And I'm not sure I'm not sure yet. So let's try to convince me and figure out exactly how we feel about this.
$242 long days since we last touched the field. Yeah, it was sweet last time we played. But that was then. And today is day one. Day one of a new era. Day one of new energy forged over these 242 days. We got new faces, new passion, same mission. Dominate the trenches. Dominate the air. Dominate the ground. If you forgot, let me remind you. We are, and always will be, monsters of the airway.
Yeah, I really can't. Get out the switch, hurls the man and gets through the trash.
Look, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all right now that this team needs a lot to convince me that they can compete. I'm not even going to be obtuse about this or anything close. I don't know if this team can compete in this division. I don't. Detroit's a better team than them. Minnesota's arguably a better team than them. Green Bay is a better team than them. Even though they got the last win over Green Bay at the end of the season last year, this team is starting over again with a new coach, a whole bunch of new players. I don't know how well they mesh. They didn't really look that good to me in preseason. The second unit did. The third unit did too. The Bears' second and third unit looked great against second and third units, but the Bears' starting units didn't really look that good to me, and they didn't impress me very much. I can't spend a lot of time on it because it's kind of depressing if you think about it. Yeah, I'm saying this in classic says Cowboys Nation. See, I can't even do it, y'all. I can't do it. Cowboys about to be a problem. Yeah, they really are. I mean, no lies told. From what we saw last night, yeah, if they keep that up, a couple miscues here, a couple miscues there, but yeah, the Bears got a long way to go. They got a long way to go. They got a long way to go. So in the absence of anything football to talk about with the Bears, we're gonna play
Let
this.
me tell you, I had some of this mac and cheese. Now, I make some pretty decent mac and cheese, if I may say so myself.
I bet you do.
But this is some pretty good mac and cheese. And you see a selection of a lot of the food offerings that fans, when they come to the Bears' first game, are going to see, the first game of the season. They're going to love it. There's going to be excitement on the field, but there's also going to be lots of excitement right here off the field as well.
Yeah, it feels full circle, right? All the years, 10 years on the field, playing and trying to win games for the city, and now being able to
get that mac and cheese,
for our
baby,
fans as they sit in the stands and cheer for this new generation of Bears to hopefully win a lot of games and bring a lot of joy to the city.
We talked a lot about being fan friendly for years, but we want to make it more family friendly. We want that next generation of Bears fan to keep coming to Bears games, and what better way than to
that mac and cheese though?
Food and beverage.
No, they're not.
Well, of course, the food and beverage part of the game, I mean, that's part of it, right? Not only just watching the game, but also being able to enjoy a lot of the food we associate not only with the city, but also with the Chicago Bears. So this is all a part of what will be offered. Of course, these, I'm told, are being offered throughout the stadium, different places. They also have, like, they call some taco stands they're going to put up that are kid-friendly as well. We'll be offering some dining selections there. And I'm told this year they're also going to have some $2.99 nachos. I didn't get a chance to check those out, but believe me, I'm looking for them. Know that. Just for those folks who may or may not remember, of course, Monday Night Football, they're going to be playing the Vikings. We're told that the game is at 7:15. The gates open at 5:15, and you can start tailgating at 3:15. So Bear Down Chicago Bears, we'll see you there. Back to you guys.
All right. Thank you, Evelyn. And I'm glad you got this assignment. Evelyn gets
$2.99 nachos, though?
99 nachos and mac and cheese, y'all. $2.99 nachos and mac and cheese. That's what we're talking about, Bears Nation. Bear down. Get you some mac and cheese and some tacos. Some $2.99 nachos at the taco stand. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. We don't care about football. We don't care about football, Bears fans. At all. We care about that mac and cheese, though. You know, don't trust nachos at $2.99. No, never. They got the jalapenos that's going to be in the can. The can is gonna be jalapenos in there. They're just gonna tell you to just sprinkle them on. Jalapenos super floppy, man. All of that. Allegedly. Allegedly. He said terrible things. Terrible things. You don't want to eat those. So, I mean, there isn't really much Chicago Bears news to talk about. They've been pretty tight-lipped for most of camp, and they haven't really let a whole bunch of people in there. Trust me, if they have, I would try to get up in there for press purposes, but they haven't really been doing a lot of that. And a lot of it's due to a new regime change, which I don't blame them. You know, in all seriousness, I hope they're good. I hope they're good. It makes more money for the city of Chicago, and the fact that they're going to eventually move away from Soldier Field anyway. Maybe that's why they're trying to do all this price lower and stuff. Because I swear nachos was like $20 if you were sitting there having to actually buy them. I swear. Oh, man. We're going to get into another section of the show. Because now I want mac and cheese. Bad. So tonight we have a matchup. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, even their number one receiver is not gonna be able to play for like 4 or 5 weeks. You know, they're not gonna be able to play. And that's right. Hit the like button. It's cheaper than the nachos. It is. Don't cost you nothing. It's free. It's free. Yeah, if y'all didn't know, Najee Harris had a fireworks accident on July 4th. Chat 333, y'all are in the building. I know y'all are. Y'all are in the building. Chat 333, y'all are in the building. Y'all just heard that. Thank y'all for letting me have Lad McConkey. That name is gonna piss y'all off more than any other name from the draft. If y'all didn't know about Chat 333 and Chat 333 chat during the fantasy draft, just wait and to catch some of the content that's going to be on the classic codes. Probably Souls of Thought with No Middleman too. They're going to have, they're going to post a lot about this. And you know what? I'm going to make a bold prediction. My dog, if he stays injury free, Lad McConkey is going to be pissing people off that go against me. Maybe even this weekend. Maybe even this weekend. I got Lad McConkey in 3 or 4 drafts. I got him in 3 or 4 drafts. I was calculated. I needed it. Not just because his name is fun to say, Laddie McConkey. Not just because his name is fun to say, it just rolls off the tongue. But because he's going to put up some numbers this year. He's going to put sleeper. Early pick, but a sleeper pick. I'm telling y'all right now. It's some really good sleeper picks in there. It is. I've been watching. I saw people were doing. We had some good drafties in there. They were intelligent. They were coached up. They knew what was going on. They knew what was going on. Mm-hmm. I know exactly what these Lions gonna have to do. You can't come against me with the same lineup you're using every week. I'm gonna combat it. I'm watching y'all performances. And I know I got some backdoor moves I gotta make. Yeah. I ain't afraid to get dirty in this game of fantasy football. I can't. I'm not afraid. Look, I know it's a gambling's man's game. It's riding on the health. But let me tell you, I got 1 or 2 moves that can be made. I ain't going to expose my hand yet. Because I got another one. It's over here. But this is the one they going to see first. That's the jab. Straight jab. Then I, boom, hit him with the cross. Okay, all right. Let me stop. Back to the Hall of Fame, Oakland Raider, Los Angeles Raider, Cliff Branch, on coining the phrase "speed kills." That was his thing. Travis owe him a little bit of money now. Go pay Cliff Branch's family. That's enough on that one. As y'all can see, it's gonna be a fun matchup tonight. Chat, who y'all got? Y'all got Kansas City or y'all got the Chargers tonight? I really want to know what y'all think. Okay, all right, I believe you. You ain't lied about it. You're not lying about it. Kelsey is a bounce back player of the year. A happy man is different. Okay, so you're right about that. A happy man is different. He said he about to cook. Fantasy will be heavily impacted this year with sports betting on the Rays. Scores will be lower and big plays limited. All right, I like that, Souls. I like that. I like that. Who you need? Don't tell everybody. Tell me. Just tell me. Don't tell everybody who you need. We might be able to make a deal. You know what? I think it's a perfect time since we already engaged with Chat 333 right now. It's a perfect time to talk about what we talked about last night.
Classic code, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. What is the witches were left in the cold? Classic. Class.
Tonight, on this part, we're going to talk about something that was that hit pretty hard last night. We're going to let Classic do his thing, and then we're going to react.
Women speak two different languages in this part of the world. One of those languages is that of a wife or a woman who is fit to be a wife. And then the second language is that of a woman who will be chronically single. Two different languages. That's it. There's no third language. There's no option.
We're really waiting for the next part. We're going to let this play
That's just
anyway.
what it is. But one more time, shout out to River TV. That's it on the reaction. All right, y'all. Let's move into the question of the day. Question of the day. What are the pros and cons of overcoming darkness? Let's have a real conversation. We're going to look at this TikTok video of my dog Michael Beasley, man. I like the fact that he goes viral very often because his way of communicating, like his broken speech pattern and his uniqueness and stuff like that. Sometimes he get a little wild with the innuendos and things like that, but this isn't one of those videos, so we in the clear. But aside from that, I'm a fan of Michael Beasley, the basketball player, and even the person. You know what I mean? Just like myself, I'm
gonna tell you guys right now, if you don't like real language about real feelings, about working through it for real and stuff that you actually go through, then you can leave right now, because what you're about to see is real, double, triple real, triple O. You know what I'm saying.
told the person in the chat yesterday, Riley, that came in and challenged me saying my POV was due to heartbreak or something. I don't think that person expected me to lean in and say, yeah, I've had my heart broken, me and everybody else, like me and 9 out of 10 other men. What else? What else? You know what I'm saying? And that disarmed Riley, and Riley ended up jumping in the comments saying, well, shit, I had my heart broken too. And this is how I, healed and blah, blah, blah. Man gave a whole testimony. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, anybody who come on these platforms and get into a content creation space and that's bold enough, present enough, grounded enough and within themselves, been through enough to be able to handle what comes with being vulnerable on camera for the world to see and expressing that you're actually living a real human experience and that, your perceived imperfections are on your sleeves. Anybody who moving like that, I got a high level of respect for, sincerely. And Michael Beasley is one of those people. So we're going to take a listen to him and then we're going to come to this question of the day. Let's get it.
Nigga eating chicken fries. Yeah. Real shit. Yeah. That's real shit, nigga. Fries, yeah. I'm talking about nigga couldn't afford the chicken fries. Nigga fucking $5.39 because I just wanted the large ones. You understand? Like, niggas, I was on these niggas. Every fucking day, I was on these niggas. Did they know you were in that state? No. Nobody knew. Fuck. My mother always told me, never tell them when you up, so you ain't got to show them when you down. You understand? I was on them. You understand? And right? Yeah. The fuck? Yeah. Ain't asked nobody for nothing. You understand? And I watched them laugh. And
you can't fake this, ladies and gentlemen. This ain't content creation. This ain't content creation. You can't fake that, ladies and gentlemen. You hear me? That's deep. You hear me? Like any man who went through the rite of passage, it's different. It's different roads to manhood. And those roads breed the different forms of men that you see in the world. And we need those different forms of men. We need the techie, less militant, super logical and brainiac men. We need the soldiers. We need everybody gonna get fortified different for the type of man that they're going to become, but every man will go through a rite of passage for sure. And his rite of passage breeds a certain type of man. The shit you can't fake. Let's go.
And I watched them. I was really on the niggas, bro. I still am.
So during that time, from the outside looking in, people probably look at you like, probably feel like you were just living your moment in a high regard, not knowing.
Yeah, everybody was. Like, I was going through court at the time, and like, I was fucked over. Like, the car I was sleeping, it was under my baby mother name, right? My phone was on my baby mother name. I was going through court at the time, and she cut my phone off. She was upset, and I missed court. I tried to explain this shit. In court. Right? Oh, nah, you just living your high life on a high horse. I ain't have a phone. I ain't have a car. I don't got an address. I can find it. I'm reporting zero on my finances.
It's funny how the perception that some people might have had of him was that he was living his best life and he was going through the worst time of his life. Okay, the worst part of his life that he was going through was right when everybody was accusing him of being at the best part. It's a little crazy how that works, how some people perceive, your folly. It's a little crazy how it works. It sucks. If you've been through some stuff, you resonate with that. You know how it feels for everybody that you thought that had your back to just not have your back. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of things that he did that caused him to be where he was. That's not the point. That isn't the point at all. Everybody plays a role in their own destruction. Everybody plays a role in their low points. But does that mean that just because they had a role in their own low point that they're supposed to be abandoned by everybody? That there isn't the people whose backs they would have had in the same situation don't have theirs. When you lose it all, everything changes. The way you view the world changes. The pros and cons of going through your darkness. Well, you don't see people the same way anymore. You don't have the same joy for people that you used to. You don't feel the same sense of adulation that most do in certain situations. A lot of times what you'll see in somebody who's been through and overcome extremely dark and traumatic experiences is they sit and reflect in silence in places where most people are just milling around. I never fail to stand at the edge of a body of water and just gaze out into it. I never fail to take a look at the clear sky and see stars and constellations in the moon and just the sky itself, just all that's around us, hearing the sounds of the woods, smelling the trees, all of the things that a lot of people take for granted, every single day. A person who's went through any type of trauma or dark places, they're not going to take that stuff for granted most of the time. A big one is people who say out loud in the middle situations, I'm having a good time right now. I'm enjoying myself right now. This is really awesome. This is great. I can't think of anything else other than where I want to be. It's right here. They say those types of things because in the back of their head, that darkness that they passed over, they know that this is so much better than that was. They know that this is so much better than that was. When you got real homies, real friends, real family, and they're there, and everybody's around you, and y'all are all eating, and y'all are smiling, you might stop and sit and just look and just observe and take it all in. Because when that table was not a table, and it was you sitting there by yourself. You will tell people that you appreciate them a lot more. Most people don't get flowers until they're no longer with us. There's, people don't like Mr. West, but he did say in one of the songs, we're the roses. Are 4 to 5 men usually cold? Yes. In my opinion, from what I've seen, yes. They can be very warm, but they're usually cold. You ever seen someone that was literally with people and they were just like, and then as soon as they not, that outward expression was, yeah, when I'm outside, there, but when I'm inside, I'm in there. That's what that looks like. There's not too much more psychology you can throw onto it. There are people who went through things and there are people who didn't. Why is that? I think when you're in a bad situation that's prolonged, that you can't seem to get yourself out of just yet, if you're working through it, if you don't have anyone else and you don't have anyone else, once you get out of a situation like that, a lot of your daily thought process is, I am never going back there. I'm never going to let that happen again. And I won't forget how it happened so it doesn't happen again. Because it's not about not taking responsibility. I think that's where Yeah, you took responsibility for it, but now you got to figure out how to get out. Just because you took responsibility doesn't mean it goes away, especially if you're in the middle of it still. But, oh yeah, well yeah, that was I played my role in this. Well, you know what? I'm never gonna do that again. I got to keep those eyes open at all times. I can have a good time, but I can't have too much fun, because if I'm having too much fun, I might miss something. That's probably why. That's probably why. I think that's what they think. I think that's what anybody who's been through that type of stuff thinks. I don't want to go backwards. I don't want to let this happen to me again. I remember what happened last time. And yes, it's going to affect your relationships with others. See, there's this, what we see right here is the difference between being emotional and being emotionally intelligent. That's the real difference. And you see it in real time. That's not just emotional, that's emotionally intelligent. You acknowledged everything that got you here. You acknowledged every reason why you don't want to be here, and you acknowledged how you're going to stop yourself from ever getting back there. But you also know that a catalyst is that feeling you felt while you were by yourself. And you know that nobody was going to get you out of it, so you had to get yourself out of it, and you did. When you did get yourself out of it, that's when the second leg of this race started. You handed your baton off to your higher self. You're not handing the baton off to a partner. You're handing it off to your other self. That other self has to do the rest of this work. So yes, you can have a quote unquote dual personality when it comes down to it, because there are two sides to that coin. Once you go through it, there's no going back. Like the old saying, before I let this go. And I'm gonna go to that as soon as I say this comment. It is great to have gardeners, but you cannot use gardeners in war. Warriors go to war, but warriors can also garden. It is much better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener at war. Would you be as driven as you if you had a hard time? If you didn't, would you be as driven as you if your hard time didn't create the chip on your shoulder? The hard times that we have, if they don't teach us, then what are we experiencing them for? You have to believe that every L stands for lesson, not loss. You have to believe that. That's the first thing. Whether some people may think it's true or not, every L has to be a lesson. And I think that if I wouldn't ever have gone as far in anything that I've done if I didn't also face a lot of adversity. I think, what's the equal and opposite reactions, right? If I want to go to a very high place, that means that the difficulty and or effort that I must exert is probably going to be great, because you have to have the equal and opposite reaction. So if it's a great place I want to go, I'm probably going to have to exert great force to get there in one way or another. And that comes in the form of adversity too. If you're going to face great adversity, you have to believe that you're going to face great victory. You have to believe that, because energy is never destroyed. It's just transferred or transformed. That's a fact. Energy never dies. So all that energy that it took, all the negative energy that it took to hold me and to keep me down, to put me in a dark place, I have to believe that I could transform that energy into the light that I need to put it into. But it doesn't mean that I'm going to be all happy-go-lucky afterwards. Yeah, every test is a testimony. That's 100%. Every test is a testimony. Every L is a lesson. It's once you, I'm telling you right now, once you go through anything that's that challenging in any way, shape, form, or fashion, whether it be the loss of a person, loss of finances, loss of loss in general. The worst one is when you say, "Do I even have myself?" And that's when you really put the first brick down. Is praying for your strength the same thing as praying for your pain? Yes. Unfortunately, yes. You can't have one without the other. There's a duality in just about everything that we experience on this plane of existence. that I'm a true believer in. And I think that, once again, with great power comes great responsibility. With great assets come great discipline. That you really can't have one without the other. I hate to say it that way. You can't. You can't. There has to be balance. If you're a nerd, you'd say there has to be balance in the force. But yeah, there has to be balance in everything, and that's why things can't be perfect, no matter how much we want them to be. Mind you, we're just talking about my opinion here. Answering the question on a very personal level, but you kind of have to take the good with the bad, the hard with the easy. Otherwise, you're going to sit there and be depressed. You're going to be depressed when you figure out that you need both. They say there's not all sunshines and rainbows. They say it's not all sunshine and rainbows. It's not. It can't be. If it was all sunshine and rainbow, well, the funny thing about sunshine and rainbows is you don't get a rainbow without it raining. You get a rainbow after it rained. So it kind of is sunshine and rainbows in a way, but that's not the way they mean it. They failed to realize that it had to rain for the rainbow to show up. Don't forget about the rain. Let it rain, y'all. Let it rain. Let it rain. Just be prepared for it. Let it rain. Be prepared for it, and then be prepared for the sunny days. And know that you can bounce back. Look at these types of stories that we listen to all the time. These success stories of people who just refuse to give up. Pursuit of happiness, all of those. They make movies about them. Your friends, your family members, people that you see every day on the street, a lot of them went through it. They just didn't make movies about their lives. A lot of them went through it. They just didn't make movies about their lives. If you went through it, I commend you for making yourself out of it, for making something of yourself after getting out of it. I commend you. If nobody else commends you, I will. That's emotionally intelligent. That's not flying off the handle about things that I can't control. I can control this. I can control this. And I can control this right here. So we got time for one more segment. And it's going to be our random video of the day. Like I said, I'm never sure what's going to happen in these. I have no idea. But what we are going to do is we're going to figure it out. Y'all going to figure it out with me. I would love to say y'all get your Q&As ready because we haven't good Q&A yet. Just a question. So I need to know. I need to know. I haven't seen the good Q&A questions yet. Y'all go ahead and throw those in there. You know that, and Q&A is usually not related to everything we just talked to, if y'all didn't know. Let's just go. Just type in regular one story time. Now we're gonna skip that. That's a little bit crazy. We're going to do that one today. Okay, this is nuts, and you know what? I kind of don't even want to play it. I kind of, I don't want to play that one. I don't want to do it. All right, well, I'm gonna play this one because this is a little nuts. This is crazy. This is crazy. All right, y'all. I'm probably not gonna say too much about this, but I'm gonna play it anyway.
I literally don't even know where to start, but I'm probably gonna start with the most traumatic, which my adopted dad, like that was the most traumatic. And get this, listen. Okay, so when he came over to my apartment to tell me that day. He like rang me up and he called me and he's like, hey, can I like come over and talk to you? And I was like, okay, sure. Had a gut feeling. Think that I'm crazy? Swear to God. Had a gut feeling. Get off the phone with him. I'm anticipating his arrival. I'm like peeping through the blinds. I have this gut feeling. I'm sick to my stomach. Then I hear, I go sit down, hear the car door slam. Go look out the window, see him walking up. I know what the fuck he's going to say. I know what he's going to say. And you're like, oh, Laura, how'd you know what he was going to say? Because he did weird shit my entire life. And I gaslit myself into thinking that maybe it wasn't weird because I didn't have a dad. So I didn't know what that relationship was really like. Okay, so I lived on the second story. He had to walk up 2 flights of stairs, knocked on my door. I'm sweating. Like my anxiety is so bad. I let him in. He sits down on one couch. Well, he's pacing a little bit, sits down on one couch. I'm sitting down on the other couch. And he's crying. And to think of my adopted dad was born in the 60s. He was a country guy. He was like, you know how guys from the 60s are, how old dudes from the 60s are. So I think I maybe saw him cry once ever. So I thought he was having a mental breakdown and he couldn't even speak. And I was like, say it. I was like, just say it. Say what you're going to say. Almost coercing it out of him because I was afraid that he wasn't going to say it. And I wanted to know what he was going to fucking say. I really should have recorded it, but so he says, Laura, I'm in love with you. Look at me dead in the eyes with tears rolling down his fucking face. Knowing me, literally, I'm going to have to show a picture of me whenever I was 6 years old. But I was like, he's known me since I was as tall as my fucking knee. He's like, Laura, I'm in love with you. And I was like, oh, I love you too. And he's like, no, I mean, I'm in love with you. I would love to marry you. I'm telling you, I'm freaking the fuck out in here. But it is also giving me clarification on everything that has happened throughout my time knowing him since I was 6 years old. I blacked out after that. I fucking blacked the fuck out. I remember him asking me, because I lived 5 or 6 blocks away from my childhood home that I grew up in. Fuck. I remember him asking me to dinner because it was the weekend. They were a horrible family, but one thing that they generally did was Sunday dinners or whatever. So he asked me to dinner, and I'm sure I said yeah or something like that. And then he walked out of my house, and I locked every fucking lock on that door, and I went into my fucking bedroom, and I locked that door, and I hid under my blankets, and I fucking sobbed my eyes out. I was hyperventilating. I was freaking out. I was in there for over an hour before I was able to do anything else than that. And I texted my sister. At the time, I was married to a man. But anyway, I texted my ex-husband, and
You had a real bad experience with men, didn't you? They made you think we was all just nasty.
I was like, you're not going to believe this. If you don't believe this, I'm going to fucking leave you because this is fucked up. So I texted him everything. And before I gave him a chance to even read it or respond, I was like, no, fuck this. I need to talk to somebody. So I call him and I tell him every single fucking detail. Mind you, my ex-husband was not a good man either. That's another story, an equally as traumatizing story. But anyway,
I think a lot of your picker being broken might have to do with the fact that you were raised by a creep.
I was on the phone with him and he was just he's like, Laura, you must be confused. Imagine a man sticking up for another.
Chat, is her being raised by a creep help or hurt the picker that she chose? Can y'all let me know? I'm thinking that it has a little bit something to do with it.
Fucked up man, but he's like, Laura, you have to be confused. There's got to be some, and he knows my history with these people and my adopted dad, but he's literally like, no, you're confused. There's no way. I hang up on him. I call the most important person in my world, which is my little sister. And I tell her, and she's freaking the fuck out too, because she has fucked up experiences.
We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. We're not gonna play nothing else from you, but we're gonna talk about it. Yes, and I think that happens a lot more than people are willing to admit to. You see it in Hollywood on several occasions. Go check it out. I'm not pulling it up, and I'm not saying no names. So you got to type in Soft Rain. Feel free to look on your browser. I am not. A whole bunch of crazy. That's what happened, Classic. Talk to text. I'm driving. All right. So look, men, if you make a baby, raise it, take care of it, be in its life, watch over it, protect it, because there's someone else out there who has ulterior motives about your seed. If you make a baby, take care of it. That's to the men. To the women, let their dads raise them. It does not matter if you do not like him. Let him raise his child. Let him be in that child's life. Let him form a bond with the child. I totally understand how some of them don't want to. I totally understand that. I totally understand that. But you got to remember, she said that her husband wasn't that good, but she was raised by a creep of a man who was in love with her. So you picked. I'm not saying that you can always choose all these things. I'm just saying you can lower the probability of a lot of bad things happening when you let the right people be in people's lives. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if she had a biological father and he was in her life, and a stepdad would have said something like that, biological father would have went right over there and been like, "I knew you was a creep all along, and I'm about to do something about it right now." All things said, allegedly for content creation purposes and storytelling time from people on the Taco Verse. That's what I'm calling TikTok now, the Taco Verse. Yep, the Taco Verse, because it's gonna get banned again, and I'm not about to get nothing stricken. The Taco Verse. Said, man, they hit anybody adopt. They are letting anybody adopt these children. They are. They are. They letting everybody do it. Everybody and their mama. Everybody. It's that time. What y'all got for me today? It's been a long morning. I get angry in a way. I get angry in a way when I see this type of stuff that comes up. I really do. I think it's completely and totally avoidable. And I think in a lot of times, the mom knew, the adoptive mother or the mother that let her adopt them. Yeah, Classic, hit me up on my personal line. Hit me up on my personal line. Let me know what's going on. And we can also talk about it. It's sad. I don't think that anybody wants to. Man, if somebody ever said that, and I was in health on God's green earth, feel sorry for that girl. Oh, you talking about you want me to stay on here right now? You want me to stay on? I woke up in the mood for it. What time you trying to go? What time? Let me know what time. Let me know what time. That's all you gotta do. Let me know what time. He said, y'all don't even. He said, "No, I'm talking to you right here." Yeah, let me know what time. I'm down. Whatever. I'm down. Yes, probably all I'm gonna do. All I'm gonna do is go to work and watch football later. So yeah, I'm down. Let me know. That's all I'm gonna do. It's a lot. I mean, it's a lot. I mean, you guys go check out No Middleman podcast, Souls of Thought, and Soft Rain, and Uncle Plug TV, and y'all can go ahead and check out the classic codes as always. Um, a lot of times, what y'all see is us talking about conversations that we all had together. The spirit of edification is strong, and a lot of times, you might not that you missed it, but there's a lot of stuff that goes into one thought. and to see it from 4, 5, 6 different perspectives, as well as the separate chats and seeing how everybody meshes in, and the way that's real community right there. Real community is y'all common goal is to make things better, but also knowing that there's human limitations, and also we're better together. That's just how it always is. We're always better together. Do women really make? We got a question, y'all. We're gonna answer this one question. Do women really make the choice not to listen to men, or is it the delivery? Y'all 100% choose that. Hold on. Y'all 100% choose what you listen to and what you choose not to listen to. You 100% choose it. There's so many different ideologies that you see and hear every single day. There's 1,000 men in one room telling y'all the exact same thing, and y'all want to listen to y'all homegirl. Nah, girl, you don't be like that. He don't want to do this. If he wanted to, he would. If he wanted to, he would. Well, most of the time, y'all give each other the worst advice, especially when it comes to listening to men. Because for some strange reason, y'all think we're dumb. For some strange reason, y'all think we're dumb. I don't have to go into semantics or talk about, wars, physical might, or, inventions or any of those things. Y'all just think we're dumb. You think the great facilitator is the dumb one. It's cool. Do what you want to do. But I did answer your question. And your question was strong. Just classic. Yeah, they don't listen. How many times as a man do I get phone calls and texts from people who I gave advice to because they asked for the advice, and they tell me that whatever happened that they chose to do didn't work. And I say, well, did you take my advice? No, I did this because Tasha said. So you wasted my time. I don't get those people advice no more. I stopped. You didn't take my advice after you called and asked me for my advice. I'm not about to give you any more advice. No, you don't listen anyway. Ask me that question. How many times you gonna ask me that question, Soft Rain? No, y'all don't listen. That's why y'all keep asking the same questions over and over again. No. What's next? Be grown-ups, ladies, and take the message out of the poor choice of words. He said the framing don't be right. They don't. The framing don't be right. The outer edges don't be painted. You know what I'm saying? It's not Picasso on the corners. They be like, I heard you, but I don't like how you said it. So I'm sticking my hand in the wood chipper anyway to teach you a lesson. Yes, I'm gonna have bloody nubs at the end of my arms, but I taught you a lesson because you didn't tell me not to put my hand in the wood chipper the right way. You should have delivered it with flowers. You should have had a little bit more decorum. That wasn't very genteel, was it? They got 99 ways to escape accountability. They did try to have a conversation about how y'all talking instead of what the topic at hand is. Oh my God. See, it's funny to me. It's funny to me. It really is. And I'm not laughing at anybody. I'm laughing with everyone else. You know what I'm saying? It's funny to me that people can ask, what is it that you want? And then 100 of us will be like, well, we want this, and this. And that's all we want. We don't want nothing else. All we want is this. And then the first thing out of the person's mouth who asked the question of what you wanted is, but what about all this? What do you mean? I just told you. You asked me what I wanted. I told you what I wanted, and then you told me I don't think that's what you want. Sweet Jesus. Oh, okay. Anything else? Anything else? I'm gonna give myself a headache from laughing. I gotta gain my composure back. I gotta gain my composure back. I really do. Man, that was you welcome. Cause that gave me man, I ain't recovered yet. I haven't recovered yet. Nope. Mm-mm. I have not recovered yet. No. Look, y'all. Go check out my homeboys and homegirls. Go check out my homeboys and my homegirls at No Middleman Podcast, Sosa Thought, Conversation with Soft Rain, Uncle Plug TV, my boy the Classic Codes, the Ben Podcast Network for your news and entertainment news. Digitally Dreaming, Off the Gridiron Podcast, or the DDOG Podcast with me and my dog Asif Ali, talking about sports and our breakdown of the NFL season and the wrestling world at large. Sweet Lord. You did it to me today. You did it. You really did. And I want to thank everybody that's been coming out over the last week. We hit 6,000 views yesterday. I was really surprised. Wasn't expecting it. We got over 50 subscribers in under a week. And, it's not, this means a lot to me to be able to just get on here and progress and start early and work my way up to content that we can engage about. That is put that in there right now in the chat. Thank you. Thank you, souls. That's the DDOG podcast. We talk about sports, football. We interview athletes, celebrities. We've got some really popular wrestlers in there. I'm not going to tell y'all which ones because I want you to go over there and check the channel out. When you do, say what's up to me and Ali. We if you like wrestling, I know a lot of people like professional wrestling. I myself am an aficionado. I talk about it all the time over there, and I make some excellent predictions. Please go over there and check it out. Once again, that is the DDOG podcast. Digitally Dreaming Off the Gridiron. When we're not on it. So, once again, check out my constituents. Thank y'all for bestowing upon me your wee bit of attention. I hope that I've been able to give y'all a little bit of insight into how I think a little bit more each and every day. We're continuing to go and we're continuing to move forward. It's been great. It's been great. It's been a good time, and it's only going to keep getting better, in my opinion. Rolling this way has been very freeing and liberating, and I look forward to it. Sometimes a little bit challenging. First thing in the morning, if I haven't had coffee yet, then and I just started drinking coffee this year, so don't start in on me. I just started drinking coffee this year, and it's been great. It's been better than the energy drinks that I normally used to drink, and I'm not jittery. So coffee just kind of wakes me up. I throw some chocolate in it. It's creamer. I probably shouldn't, but I do it anyway because it tastes so good. It tastes so good. Y'all have no idea. That's one of my adult. But I'm using mushroom coffee. Rise mushroom coffee. Rise, go ahead and sponsor me because I like it a lot. It's good. Gut health, probiotics, all of that because they put all this trash in our food allegedly. Nothing wrong with a little bit of GMO in your life, right? No, it's a lot wrong with that. But anyway, thank y'all. I appreciate it. I see y'all every day, 7,000 to 8,000 to 9,000 to 10,000 and beyond. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate you. This has been the Test Down Podcast, and I'll catch you in another 24.